Alright, so what we wanted to test was when you have the 4-pack of PŌLR cubes in your freezer, we believe that it's going to help your freezer last longer in case the power goes out. And all of us as outdoorsmen or just general people, if you got one of those garage freezers and it unplugs or something happens, the power goes out, whatever it is, how long will it take for everything in there to melt with cubes and without cubes? So we're going to test that. So this one, and we have all the cooler freezers set at the same temperatures, and we're monitoring everything. So this is what we're going to use to monitor it, is we've filled set levels. I think it was 3.5 liters, but it expanded. No, it was 3 liters and it expanded of water in 3 containers. And then we got 4 cubes versus just the 3 containers. And so now we'll see the difference in life of these, and we'll unplug them and just let them do their thing. So, alright. So unplugged, and you can see unplugged because we're no longer getting a watt meter. And now they're just running on their own. So we'll see how it goes. So we take these doors shut so that nobody in the break room would open these up, and we were surprised to come in. We did it in like 9:30 this morning. It's 2:30 this afternoon. So we got, if you remember, we got ice in both, same amount of ice. We got freezers. This has 4 PŌLR cubes in it. This has none. If you come in here, you'll see the PŌLR cube freezer is now at 15 degrees internally, and the one without the PŌLR cubes is now almost 25 degrees, 24.8 internally. So pretty interesting to see. I'm really curious by the time we give this some time what that temperature variance is. But if you think about it, this freezer is going to start thawing internally very soon. So the ice is going to start melting inside of this one. This one's still 15 degrees above zero. Pretty cool. Just totally curious how it's going to work out. This freezer right now is 37 degrees. And this freezer now is over 40. So that's the difference. This has the cubes in it, this one doesn't. We taped the door shut so nobody would open these in the break room here. But so if we check the ice levels in the PŌLR cube, wow, check it out. And actually, so it looks like, okay, so we got some water in the bottom of that. So that's starting to melt, and the weird part is these like squished up, so it's kind of deceptive. That used to be down to the fill level, but that's actually how much melting we have because that's collecting all the water. So there's our amount of melt in the cooler with the cubes, and let's see what we got melt-wise in here. The melt in here with no cubes, wow, big difference. So definitely, and I can't pop it out, but you can see, as opposed to it being swimming, I think we're going to see a lot bigger difference tomorrow visually, but right now it's just hard to see. But I would say it's probably double. I'll hold this. Be like, wow. Okay, well, that's got to be a 50% difference. Let me open the other one up just a look. All right. So here's the 2. You can see from, I mean, it's. I think we're being generous saying it's only half a difference. I bet you it's 60-40. Amazing. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect it to last this long. We're on day 4. If you actually look at the temperature in here, we're still at 38.7 degrees. And it's actually been holding at that for all 4 days. So we're still food safe in this freezer. You have a big bunch of meat or whatever you keep in your garage freezer, just because you have the PŌLR cubes in there, it's still good. Now this is the one that's just ice, just your meat, and power goes out and it gets unplugged. Day 4, it's been since day 2 that it's been non-food safe. So crazy. Now I haven't cracked these open yet, so I'm super curious, as probably you are. So here's the one. Let's do this one first. So here's the one without the cube, and it's what I suspected. So we have this, has this much ice left. Now, here's another kind of interesting thing. If you pay attention, on the top, no ice, right? So inside of this freezer, what's happening is what happens everywhere, hot air rises. So the top one has less than the middle one, and the bottom one has the most. So this is their best case scenario. Okay, so that's best case scenario. And now let's look at the Polar Cube one. Wow, no way. So this one, let's see if I can get it out this time, has this cube, which is obviously not even comparable. That's the worst case scenario. That's the worst one. Let's look at the bottom one, which is going to be the best case scenario. So that's the comparable. So let's just grab that. So there's their bottom one. Now, crazy. I cannot believe how crazy this thing is. It's amazing. Look at the difference. Internal temperature of this one with the cubes now after 5 days is 41.8 degrees. So it just went over what's considered food safe, which is around 40. This one's been over it for a long time. It's at 62 degrees. Now, pretty amazing. Let's just kind of look at the difference. I'm sure this one's going to be out of ice now. It was really close yesterday. So yeah, even on the bottom shelf, that'll hold the most, the most cold, because heat rises even inside of a freezer. This one is still where it is, but here's the difference. So the difference is profound. It's really been huge. I'm blown away. Crazy. So really what this means, and remember, a freezer will perform a lot better. A freezer will perform a lot better when it's full. So imagine if this was full of meat and you had your 4 cubes, you would last a long time. I mean, again, these have been plugged for 5 days now. So that old coming home, been gone for a few days, freezer's done, and you come home to a bloody mess. That's just not a reality anymore if you got the Polar Cube. Pretty cool.